Hey everybody, Kristen from A Mindful Mom. I believe homemade is best, but it doesn't need to be complicated. And today I'm going to share with you an easy recipe for Instant Pot Jambalaya. This jambalaya is full of spicy chicken and andouille and shrimp and perfectly cooked rice that's seasoned to perfection. You guys are going to love this recipe and it's so easy to make. So to get started, we're gonna hit saute on our Instant Pot, and I'm gonna add in about a tablespoon of oil here just to let that heat. To our oil, we are going to add in peppers and celery and onions and chicken and andouille sausage and let it saute and really develop flavors that's going to infuse this jambalaya with classic New Orleans flavors. It's so good. So our oil has heated now, so first I'm gonna add in one small minced onion. I have one large stalk of celery that's finely minced. You could use 2 small stalks. And if you don't like celery, you don't have to add it, but it does add a really authentic flavor to this jambalaya. And then I have one small red bell pepper that's been finely minced. It smells so fresh. You could use any color bell pepper. I really like the sweetness that the red bell pepper adds here. And I also have 1 pound, you could use anywhere from a half a pound to 1 pound of boneless, skinless chicken breasts or thighs that have been diced into 1-inch pieces. Add that in. We're gonna let that all saute together and really develop great flavor. But one last thing. I have some andouille sausage here. I'm using chicken andouille sausage. You could use smoked sausage. You could use classic andouille sausage. This chicken sausage is a little bit leaner, and so it's my preferred choice, but you can use what you like. And you want anywhere from 6 to 10 ounces of andouille sausage here. Add that in, andouille or smoked sausage, like I said. We're just gonna let this all saute up until our chicken gets a nice golden sear on it and our onions and celery and peppers begin to soften. And they're just going to absorb that flavor from the chicken sausage and the onions and peppers and so, so good. You're just gonna stir this mixture every little bit. Again, we're just looking for our onions and peppers to begin to soften and our chicken just to turn white so that it's just lightly golden there. Our chicken is starting to look just about perfect, and so I'm gonna add in 1 clove or about 2 teaspoons of minced garlic here. We don't wanna add in our garlic any sooner because it would burn, and burnt garlic ruins any dish really, really quickly. So we're just gonna let that toast just for 30 to 60 seconds. It is smelling so, so good in here. All right, that's looking perfect, and so we're gonna hit cancel to turn off the saute function on our Instant Pot. You know the drill. Anytime we use the saute function, we must deglaze our pot. So to do so, I have 2 cups of low sodium chicken broth here. I'm gonna add in just about a half a cup, really like a fourth of a cup, just a little bit to scrape up those brown bits on the bottom of the inner pot. That will prevent a burn notice from happening. And I don't add all the chicken broth at once so that it's not splashing up all over me. All right, that looks good. So we're gonna add in the remaining chicken broth, again for a total of 2 cups of chicken broth there. And then for seasonings, we're gonna add in 2 teaspoons of Cajun seasoning. I will link in the description below to my homemade Cajun seasoning blend. I love using it because it's just the perfect level of spice. It's made with really wholesome, clean ingredients, no cornstarch, no gluten, and it's lower in sodium than the majority of store-bought Cajun seasonings. That's what you have, use it. no judgment. Then you wanna add in about a half a teaspoon of dried thyme leaves. Always use thyme leaves, not ground thyme. Flavor's not the same, it's not very good. Give that a stir, and then 1 bay leaf. I also am going to add in 2 cups of white rice, long grain white rice that's been rinsed really, really well. Really important whenever you're cooking rice in your Instant Pot. And then we just want to push our rice down into the liquid just so it's submerged. You don't want to stir it, just push it down. That'll help it cook evenly. And I am using white rice, not brown rice for this recipe. I love whole grains, but brown rice takes a lot longer to cook and our chicken would overcook in that time. So this is one recipe I do recommend using white rice. One final thing before we pressure cook it, we're going to add in a 15-ounce can of diced tomatoes. I have petite diced tomatoes today because I have a really picky son who would prefer no tomatoes, but this dish does taste better with some diced tomatoes. It's authentic, so I like to use the petite diced tomatoes just to keep the texture a little bit easier for him to handle. I know you're thinking, Kristen, where's the shrimp? It's coming, but first we're gonna pressure cook this. So we're gonna pop our lid on our Instant Pot. Make sure your venting knob is pointed towards sealed, and then to set the cooking time, you're going to hit manual or pressure cook and use the plus or minus buttons and adjust until it reads 3 minutes. Once the cooking time has elapsed, it's really important that you let pressure release naturally on its own for at least 10 minutes. A full natural pressure release is best anytime you're cooking rice. It'll just help the rice stay nice and tender and perfectly cooked. My pressure has been released here, and now I want to talk about my shrimp. I'll be honest with you, some people in my family like shrimp, some people do not. So I often just use a little bit of shrimp and then pick it out for those who don't like it and give it to the people who like shrimp in my family. So it's totally optional. Do what works best for you. And on my blog, there's full directions for cooking raw shrimp or cooked shrimp. Today I have some frozen, pre-cooked, shells removed, deveined shrimp here, and I'm adding a little bit of Cajun seasoning just because we want to season everything. And I'm just going to give that just a little toss. If you had raw shrimp, you would want them to be fully thawed out. You would want to use small raw shrimp, deveined, tails off for jambalaya. I have pre-cooked frozen shrimp. It's fine that it's frozen. It doesn't need to be thawed out. What we're going to do is open up our Instant Pot. Everything's cooked really nicely. You just kind of want to use a fork to fluff it together. Remove that bay leaf as you come across it. Mine floated right to the top there. And I always use a fork to fluff my rice and to incorporate the ingredients. It just keeps the grains of the rice nice and intact and from getting mushy. I worked pretty quickly here because I want the residual heat in my Instant Pot to cook this shrimp. So I'm gonna add in about 1 teaspoon, you could certainly add more, of hot sauce, just plain old red hot sauce, and 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. It's gonna season things up really nicely. And then I'm gonna add my shrimp, pop the lid back on the Instant Pot. We're just gonna let that sit for about 5 minutes. That residual heat is gonna thaw out the shrimp. Remember, I'm using pre-cooked shrimp, and it'll be perfectly cooked in that amount of time. If you used raw shrimp, if it's fully thawed, the residual heat will cook it up in about 5 to 10 minutes as well. It's been a couple of minutes. We're ready to dig into this jambalaya here. Take off our lid, give everything a stir. Oh, it smells so good, and it's so easy to make. I love these one-pot meals made in the Instant Pot. Makes for less dishes, just easy, easy weeknight entertaining. This one is perfect for Mardi Gras. It's really perfect any night of the week. Top it with a little bit of fresh parsley here, just for a pop of color. Go in for a bite. So good. It was a little hot. I've been known to do that a time or two. But wow, it packs a punch of flavor. It's got, notes of spiciness from the hot sauce and the andouille and the Cajun seasoning, but it's perfectly balanced as well, and there's so much freshness from the celery and onion and peppers, and It is so good. You guys are gonna love it. Be sure to get the full recipe on amindfulmom.com, and for another all-in-one delicious Instant Pot chicken and rice recipe, be sure to catch my next video where I share with you how to make Instant Pot chicken and rice. Until next time, happy cooking.